Here's the truth. You don't have a vision problem. You have a repetition problem, because a vision that's not repeated is a vision that's forgotten. And if your team can't repeat the vision, you don't actually have one. Welcome to Church Made Simple, where churches thrive when everyone knows what to do and why it matters. This podcast exists to replace confusion with confidence, one conversation at a time, so your team can serve with clarity, confidence, and purpose. Most churches out there have a problem. Most of the unknown churches, the unseen churches, and that is vision. Vision begins to leak. Now, here's the truth about vision. Vision doesn't ever disappear because it was a weak vision. It disappears because it was not a reinforced vision. And in church life, it's super easy for vision to get buried under our calendars, our emails, our events, logistics, different ministries. But vision is like oxygen. Without it, ministry begins to suffocate. Vision, though, does not stick because it was powerful. It sticks because it was persistent. Vision doesn't stick because it was powerful. It sticks because it was persistent. A lot of times, the vision that we are carrying as pastors, as leaders, and even as volunteers. Yeah, listen to me, you volunteers out there who are going, oh, this isn't a podcast episode for me because I don't create the vision. No, the truth is, if you are not repeating the vision, how are you engaging those first-time guests, those potential return guests, those potential members or owners of the mission and the vision? Vision doesn't stick because it's a powerful vision. It sticks because it's a persistent vision. So we have to ask ourselves some questions to give ourselves some clarity about our vision. So let's ask some questions and let's go through this list. Let's talk about this. Is your vision sticky or is it forgettable? Is it being reinforced or is it leaking? You'll know your vision is clear when your team quotes it without being prompted. So ask yourself. I remember going into, don't ask yourself this, but I remember going into a church and I was there to help them build out a social media strategy week to week that would help them really engage new people on social media. Because up to that point, their whole system was to just post, one picture of somebody in the church and then one sermon reel, and then the rest of the week was events. We got this event coming up, and this missions event is coming up, and this students event is coming up. So anyway, so to start, I just pulled everything back and I said, hey, let's establish a strategy. First, we have to realize this, that every social media strategy needs to be aligned with your church's vision. If it's not, we're going to post whatever we feel like. So I asked everybody in the room, there's about 20, 30 people. Why there were, I don't know. They weren't all involved with social media. I asked every person in the room. I said, I want everybody at the same time, on the count of 3, I want you to say your church's vision clearly, loudly, and confidently. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And it went just as you expected. A lot of mumbles. We love Jesus, and then we help people, because the church is good. I mean, just people are just throwing out random things. And then somebody would point at somebody else across the room and go, oh, yeah, that too. Here was the truth. None of them knew what the vision was. And so I challenged them. I said, I can give you a strategy, but until we are clear on what your church's vision is, we can't implement this strategy. So I want to encourage every one of you who don't know the vision, because none of you do, go ask the person who is in leadership right above you, could you help me clarify the vision of our church? When the vision is really sticky, volunteers will start referencing it in their meetings. Staff will start using it to make decisions. And all the time, your culture starts to echo it without effort. That's key right there. It's not just about when us volunteers are referencing it because it's, muscle memory. It's not just when us staff are out there making decisions thinking, oh, is this aligned with the vision? But no, what's really amazing is when the culture begins to shift and the actions of the people echo our vision without us having to prod them along. That's a key sticky vision right there. So here's a key question for you. Is your vision the loudest voice in the room, or is it just another forgotten line from a planning document? Man, how many times have we tried to cast a vision and we put it on a piece of paper for a meeting and then we never go back to it. Remember, if you want your vision to be sticky, you have to make it repeatable. Repetition is key. Now, when we're building a vision, though, we got to touch on this. You can't confuse vision with a win, an ask, or a value. There's a lot of people who are confused about what a vision actually is. A vision is not a win. A vision is not an ask, and a vision is not a value. A win, an ask, and a value, they're all super, super important, but they are not vision. So here's how churches confuse this and confuse their people. Hey, our vision is to have 300 people at Easter. That's not a vision. That's a win. We want to have 300 people at Easter. That's our goal. And if we achieve that, that's the win for Easter. Your vision is not, hey, we have a vision to see more volunteers serving in the church. No, that's actually an ask. What you're really saying is, hey, we don't have enough volunteers and we need more volunteers. That's not a vision. That's an ask. Or we say it this way, our vision is to be all about the community. We're going out there and we are going to reach our community. Well, that's not even a vision. That's a value. That's what we do. That's how we build our mission, our ministry, is because we're all about the community. Again, these are important things, but they're not the actual vision. So we have to clarify this. A win is a short-term milestone, something we can achieve. A win is a short-term milestone. An ask is an immediate request. We don't try to cast vision for something we need today. We just go ask for it. Oh, let me hit that too. Stop trying to cast vision for tithes and offerings in your church. Just ask. That's a whole different episode. Values are a guiding belief, but a vision is where we are headed and why it matters. So instead of saying, hey, our vision is to grow our youth group, say it differently. Say, hey, we see a generation of students rising up to lead in their schools, in their homes, and in their faith. See how different that is? Now I'm telling you where we're headed and why it matters. We're headed to a place where our students are rising up. They're leading in their schools. They're leading in their homes. They're leading in their faith. Well, once we have established our vision, though, then we have to understand our systems have to start serving the vision. It means everything that we do might have to be rewired and reallocated so that the vision comes first. Your systems are only as effective as the vision they're designed to support, though. So again, if the vision is not clear, systems won't be clear. A disconnected system creates burnout, even if it's working. And what do I mean by working? I mean your church is still alive. The lights are still on. People are still showing up. But if that system that is keeping people coming is disconnected from a clear vision, you will create burnout. Not because it's not, quote unquote, working, but because people don't know where they're headed. So we got to ask ourselves, once we have a clear vision, is the system that we're looking at right now, is this helping us build the future God has called us to build? According to our vision, according to the clear vision that we are communicating over and over and over, is the system that we have in place right now, is it helping us build the future God has called us to? Or I would pose this question, or is it allowing is it allowing us to tear down the future God has called us to? So I can build a boat that's beautiful. I can build a boat that floats. I can build a boat that's the fastest boat in the world or the slowest boat. I can build a boat that has all the most luxurious items on it. I can build a boat that turns into a house. That boat can be built all the right way, all the right components. But if it's headed in the wrong direction, it's going to lead me off course. If I don't have a clear destination on where I'm taking that boat, we're going to wind up in the middle of the ocean, frustrated, burned out, and ready to give up. So how do you make your vision unforgettable? Well, number one, you repeat it constantly. You don't wait for Vision Sunday. Make it a part of Vision every Sunday. Forget that. Vision every day. Like your vision needs to be communicated every single day. Every email that goes out, put your vision in it. Every social media post, just put it as the tagline at the bottom. Every time you're on a text message thread with your team, cast that vision. Use the same verbiage every time. Repeat it constantly. Secondly, you got to simplify it. I've said this before. If your 4 and 5-year-olds can't repeat the vision, your staff can't either. I'm not saying they have to understand it completely, but if your 4 and 5-year-olds cannot repeat the vision to you, it's too long, it's too abrasive, it's too confusing. Now, if the 10, 11, and 12-year-olds in your church can't just not remember it, but they can't communicate why it matters, your staff definitely won't either. Number 3, you got to weave it into your culture. Everything from onboarding new volunteers to your announcements. Weave it into your culture. Stories are the best way to communicate vision. Stories are the best way to share the vision. So you have a clear vision statement. That's great. But when you start sharing stories about people in the church that have been impacted and it points back to your vision, when you begin to share generosity stories about how your church was able to give and it points back to the vision, man, the culture comes alive. So find ways, creative ways to weave it into your culture. And again, tell stories. That's number 4, because people don't remember statements. They're going to remember those moments. I think it's Craig Rochelle. He says, people don't remember what you say. They remember how you made them feel. And lastly, most importantly, just live the vision. Like live it, be a part of your life, because what you model gets repeated more than what you announce. And I'm not just talking to the lead pastors out there or the staff members. I'm talking to you second chair leaders, you people who are serving the mission and vision. You love your church. If you're not living it, let me say it this way. Why would anybody immediately believe that your pastor lives it just because they see him on the platform? They're going to test the vision of your church based on how they see you carrying the vision. You, the person not on the platform, the person not with a mic, the person whose responsibility it is to pick up all the trash in the sanctuary before and after service. Do you live the vision of your church? So remember, you don't need a new vision. You just need to make your current one unforgettable. Well, that's it for today's episode of Church Made Simple. If you need help with this conversation around the vision, I want to encourage you, use the link below in the description to download the discussion guide. Talk about it with your team this week. All across your church, you need to have a conversation about the vision. And if you're the lead pastor, I want to encourage you, sit down, take some time, and clarify and simplify your vision for the sake of your church. Because next week, we're going to be diving into a conversation that every church needs. You have a vision, that's great, but how do you create ownership? Because when everyone owns everything, nobody owns anything. And that is a major formula for burnout. So take this episode deeper with your team, download the free discussion guide. And listen, if this is helping you, subscribe wherever you get this podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Share it with somebody else, like it, leave a comment or a review, just so we can equip more churches just like yours. Because clarity is not a buzzword, it is leadership. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next episode.